Our Prophet simply the best. Our Prophet simply the best. Our Prophet simply the best. Our Prophet simply the best.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem bismillahir rahmanir rahim assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Noorallah. Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam has said, حيثما كنتم فصلوا علي فإن صلاتكم تبلغني. Translation: send salat upon me wherever you may be, for your salat reaches me. صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وسلم. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, welcome to the episode of our Prophet, simply the best. In our last episode, we learned about the blessed appearance of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. We learned about the beauty of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. We learned that the beauty of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam is incomparable. Just as Allah Azza wa Jal granted His beloved Messenger sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam the most sublime and exemplary character of all, He also bestowed him unmatched beauty and splendor. Undoubtedly, no one is fully able to comprehend the grandeur of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Sayyidina Hassan bin Thabit radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, one of the distinguished companions of the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and a poet in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, beautifully expressed the beauty of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam in his qasida. He writes, "And more excellent than you, my eyes have never seen, and more beautiful than you, no women ever gave birth." He radiyallahu ta'ala anhu further says, خُلِقْتَ مُبَرَّعًا مِّن كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَأَنَّكَ قَدْ خُلِقْتَ كَمَا تَشَاءُ. You have been created free from all blemishes and imperfections, as though you were created just the way you desired. It is He whose meaning and form attained perfection. Then the Maker of souls chose Him as beloved. Munazzahun an sharikin fi mahasinihi, fajawharul husni fihi ghayru munqasimi. Peerless, His beauty has no rival, for in Him is the undivided essence of all beauty. Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, the Imam of Ahl Sunnah, the Imam of love, says, the real described your character, great meaning azim. The real beautified your appearance. By Allah, the creator of your beauty and splendor, there never was and never will be anyone like you. The Imam of Ishq Muhabbat, Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, also writes, सरवर कहूँ के मालिको मौला कहूँ तुझे, बागे खलील का गुले ज़ैबा कहूँ तुझे, तेरे तो बस ऐब तनाही से है बरी, हैरान हूँ मेरे शाह मैं क्या क्या कहूँ तुझे, कह लेगी सब कुछ उनके फना खां की खामोशी, चुप हो रहा है कह के मैं क्या क्या कहूँ तुझे, लेकिन रज़ा ने ख़त्म सुखन इस पे कर दिया, खालिक का बंदा खल्क का आका कहूँ तुझे. Should I proclaim you as my master, or my king or chief, or rose of beauty from the gardens of Allah's Khalil? Your virtues are free from the fault of being countable. I am in awe of praising you. I am incapable. The silence of your devotee will sing the praise for you. When he is silent, saying, Master, I am in awe of you. The chapter is brought to an end on this note by Raza, the Creator's servant, Master of creation you are. If the scholar like Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullahi ta'ala says about this our Prophet, then how can we even fulfill the right of praising Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam? My dear viewers of Madani Channel, it is the belief of the entire ummah that the beauty and perfect form of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is unmatched. The scholars of hadith and compilers of the prophetic biography Sirah have transmitted the perfection and beauty of each and every body part of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam in minute details thoroughly, rigorously authenticated narrations. Some of them, inshallah azawajal, we will hear about them today. Regarding the body of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam's body was radiant as if it had been fashioned from silver. Sayyidina Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu states, the blessed body of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam was extremely soft and delicate. I felt no silk or brocade softer than the palms of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, nor have I smelt perfume more delightful than the perspiration of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Subhanallah. Sayyidina Ka'b bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, when the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam was happy, his face would shine so radiantly as if it was a piece of the moon, and his happiness would be apparent on his face. The beads of perspiration were like pearls on his blessed face, and more pleasant in scent than the most delightful musk. Sayyidatuna Sulaym radiyallahu ta'ala anha, the mother of Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, would spread a leather mat for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam so that he could do qaylula. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam would perspire much, and Sayyidatuna Sulaym radiyallahu ta'ala anha would gather his perspiration in a glass bottle. She would then add from it to her perfume. On one occasion, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam asked Sulaym, what are you doing? She replied, we use your perspiration as perfume, and it is the finest of scents. And in another narration, Sayyidatuna Sulaym radiyallahu ta'ala anha replied, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, we seek its blessing for our young children. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam said to her, you are correct. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu instructed in his will, in his wasiyah, that the only perfume to be applied to his body and burial shroud, meaning kafan, should be the perfume to which the perspiration of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had been added. Subhanallah. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, this was the love of Sahaba Ikram alayhimu ridwan with the perspiration of Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Let's talk about the blessed head of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu states that the Messenger of Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam's head was large and magnificent. This was the sign of a beautiful and eminent person, and also a sign of the perfection of the Messenger of Allah's sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam's intellect. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat Rahmatullahi Ta'ala alayhi says, Jiske aage sare sarwara kham rahe, us sare taj rif'at pe lakhun salam. The head of the rulers remained bowed before it. Countless salutations upon the crown on his towering head. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had beautiful wavy hair that it was neither excessively curly nor completely straight. Initially, the blessed hair would reach the earlobes. Later, on the locks of hair would reach his blessed shoulders. On the occasion of Hajjatul Wada, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had his blessed hair shaven. Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullahi ta'ala describes the blessed hair of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam and says, Aakhir Hajj gham ummat mein pareshan hokar Tira bakhton ki shafaat ko sidhare gesu. In the final pilgrimage, anxious in your worry for the nation, for the intercession of the wretched, as saviors came your terraces. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam would frequently apply oil to his blessed hair. When combing, he parted his hair in the middle. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, the hair of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam's blessed head and beard was black. There were fewer than 20 gray hairs. After having shaven his blessed head during Hajjatul Wada, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam's blessed hair was distributed amongst the companions as a means of deriving blessings, barakah. The companions, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'een, preserved and protected it more than their own lives. Sayyidatuna Salama radiyallahu ta'ala anha preserved some blessed strands of hair in a glass bottle. Whenever someone would be afflicted by the evil eye or fell ill, she would dip the bottle in water and give the water to the ailing person to drink, and the person would be cured by it. Subhanallah. वो करम की घटा गेसुए मुश्क सा लका अब्रे रहमत पे लाखों salam. Those clouds of mercy, your musk-like caresses upon the rain of compassion, a million salutations. Let's talk about the eyebrows of the beloved Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam's eyebrows were perfectly shaped, arched, thin, long and full, but not so long that they actually met in the middle. When seen from a distance, they would seem as though they were connected, as there was a slight, almost indiscernible space between the eyebrows. Between the eyebrows was a vein that would protrude when the Messenger of Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam would be angry. जिनके सजदे को मेहराब काबा झुकी, उन भवों की लताफत पे लाखों सलाम. For whom the niche of Kaaba bowed in prostration, upon the fineness of the brows, a million salutations. The nose of Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the Messenger of Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam, possessed a beautiful aquiline nose, the bridge of which was high, from which nude would shine. Subhanallah. One who did not look at him closely would think that he sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam had a very high nose, which he did not. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat Rahmatullahi Ta'ala says, Nichi nazron ki sharm haya par durood, unchi beeni ki rif'at pe lakhon salam. Salutation upon the bashful and humble glance of yours. Countless salutations upon your raised and lofty inside. In describing the forehead of the beloved Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam, Sayyidina Hind ibn Abi Hala radiyallahu ta'ala anhu used the words which meant it was wide and broad. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam's forehead naturally emitted a bright, radiant glow. Subhanallah. Upon casting his gaze on the blessed forehead, Sayyidina Hassan bin Thabit radiyallahu ta'ala exclaimed, translation of which is, whenever the Messenger of Allah's blessed forehead was seen in the darkness of the night, it would shine bright like a lit candle. Subhanallah. Sayyidina Hind ibn Abi Hala radiyallahu ta'ala who narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam's cheeks were smooth, soft and even, his mouth wide and teeth well spaced. When he sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam would speak, the light would emanate from between the front two teeth, and if he sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam smiled in the darkness, a light would emanate. Subhanallah. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, what a great personality. What a personality with great physical attributes. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam would never yawn, a unique quality of all the prophets. For yawning is from the devil, is from shaitan, and all the prophets are protected from his influence. वो दहन जिसकी हर बात वही खुदा, Chashma-e-ilm hikmat pe lakhon salam, a mouth whose every word is divine revelation, countless salutations upon the fount of knowledge and wisdom. The blessed tongue of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam was the medium for conveying divine revelation, a wellspring of the glorious verses and trove of miracles. Its eloquence was unrivaled, such that the most eloquent and articulate speakers were left dumbfounded, awestruck, and humbled before the speech of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat Rahmatullahi ta'ala says it once again, Tere aage yun hai dabe lache, fusaha arab ke bade bade, koi jaane muh mein zaba nahi, nahi balke jism mein ja nahi. Humbled and lowered in front of you are the eloquent poets of Arabia. 'Tis as though they have a mouth but no tongue, but rather a body with no life. Another miraculous quality of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam's tongue was that each utterance became a manifest reality. वो ज़बान जिसको सब कुन की कुंजी कहें, उसकी नाफिज हुकूमत पे लाखों सलाम. That tongue which all proclaim to be the key to kun, countless salutations upon its power and control. Uski pyari fasahat pe behad durud, uski dilkash balaghat pe lakhon salam, upon its beautiful eloquence, countless peace, countless salutations upon its heart-blossom rhetoric. Subhanallah. Sallu al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, let's talk about the blessed saliva of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. The saliva of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam was a cure for the injured, the sick, and an antidote to poison. It has been mentioned that when Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu was bitten by a snake in the cave of Thawr, the effects of its poison were counteracted by the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam's miraculous saliva, and the injury was healed. It was also the cure for the ailment of the eye of Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu when he suffered at Khaybar. During the battle of Badr, one of the Sahabi's eyes was struck with an arrow. When the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam applied his blessed saliva to it, not only did it heal immediately, but Sayyidina Rifa' radiallahu ta'ala anhu also regained perfect vision. Sayyidina Abu Qatada radiallahu ta'ala anhu was struck on his face by an arrow. When the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam's miraculous saliva was applied to it, the wound immediately stopped bleeding. The companion would also never be struck by any arrow or sword for the rest of his life because of it. Subhanallah. Other miracles also transpired through the blessed saliva of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Sayyidina Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu possessed a well in which the Messenger of Allah Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam once placed his blessed saliva, causing it to become the sweetest well in all of Medina. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, Imam Bayhaqi rahmatullahi ta'ala narrates that on the day of Ashura, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam would gather all the suckling infants and would place his blessed saliva in their mouth, instructing their mothers not to suckle them until evening. This blessed saliva would suffice the infants such that they would experience no hunger or thirst throughout the entire day. Jisse khari kuein shira-e ja bane, uzzulale halawat pe lakhon salam. From its salty wells became sweet like syrup. Countless salutations upon that sweet, clear spring water. Subhanallah. Sallu al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Let's talk about the voice of the beloved Prophet, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, all of the prophets were blessed with beautiful, melodious voices. However, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam was the most beautiful in appearance, speech and voice amongst them all. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam also possessed a unique miracle that when he spoke in his sermons, people near and afar were equally able to hear him. Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu states, Allah never sent a prophet save with a beautiful face and a beautiful voice. And the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam was the most beautiful of them in face and voice. The voice of Allah's messengers sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam could carry where other voices could not. Sayyidina Bara radiallahu ta'ala narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam addressed us with such a voice that he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam caused the maidens to hear him in the closed chambers. Subhanallah. Sayyidina Abdul Rahman ibn Mu'az radiallahu ta'ala narrates, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam addressed us when we were at Mina. Our ears were open and we were able to listen to what he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam was saying, even while we were in our dwellings. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha reports, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam sat on the pulpit one Friday and said to the people, sit down. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Rawaha radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was all the way in Bani Ghanam, heard him and sat down where he was. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had the most beautiful neck, described as being neither long nor short. Sayyidina Hind ibn Abi Hala radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah's sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam's neck was well built, proportioned perfectly, beautiful, and as resplendent as silver. The blessed palms of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam were wide and fleshy. His forearms were long and shoulders were broad and well built. Sayyidina Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu relates, I have touched neither silk nor brocade softer than the palms of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam, nor have I smelt fragrance sweeter or more beautiful than that of the Messenger sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Whoever touched the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam's hand would find his hand fragrant for the entire day. Subhanallah. And when the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam would pat the head of a young child, the child would become distinguished due to his scent. Subhanallah. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, Sayyidina Jabir ibn Sumra radiallahu ta'ala narrates, once I performed Salatul Zuhr with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam and followed him home. Children rushed to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam when they saw him, and he sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam brushed his merciful hands over their cheeks, also brushing their blessed hands over mine as I stood before him. Subhanallah. And such a fragrant smell emanated from them, just as a hand coming out of perfume seller's boxwood. Allahu Akbar. Jinko sue asma phaila ke jal thal kar diye, sadqa un haathon ka pyare हमको भी दरकार है. He raised them towards the heavens, and so the earth was quenched with rain. My beloved, we too are needy for blessings from these hands. हाथ जिस्म तो उठा गनी कर दिया, मौजे बहरे सखावत पे लाखों सलाम. Wherever his hands was raised, he made others rich. Countless salutations upon the waves of the sea of bounty. जिसको बारे दो आलम की परवाह नहीं, ऐसे बाजू की कुव्वत पे लाखों सलाम. The burden of both worlds does not affect them. Countless salutations upon the strength of his forearms. जिसके हर खत में है मौजे नूरे करम, उस कफ़े बहर हिम्मत पे लाखों salam. Each line contains a wave of beneficent light upon that palm, an ocean of bravery, a million salutations. नूर के चश्मे लहराएं, दरिया बहें, उंगलियों की करामत पे लाखों salam. Springs of light appeared and he made rivers flow. Countless salutations upon the miraculous fingers. Sallu al Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, both the blessed stomach and chest of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam were even with each other and equal in proportion. His chest was also broad, and besides a straight thin line of hair running from it to his navel, neither his stomach nor his chest had hair. His arms, his shoulders, and upper chest, however, had some hair. His blessed chest was a treasure trove of divine gnosis, ma'rifah, and revelation, and his blessed stomach a symbol of patience and contentment. Kul jahan milk aur jaw ki roti giza, us shikam ki qanaat pe lakhon salam. The world's his dominion, yet he eats barley bread. Countless salutation upon the contentedness of that stomach. Sallu al Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Let's talk about the blessed feet of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had the most beautiful feet from all of mankind. His blessed feet were fleshy and wide, having a slight arch in the soles. His blessed feet were so delicate and soft that water would instantly flow off them. His heels were thin and his shanks slender. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam would walk with humility. When he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam walked, he would do so with vigor. It was as if he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam was descending from a height or walking down a slope. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam inclined forward as he walked, bringing his footsteps close together without swaggering. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, I never saw anyone more beautiful than the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. It was as if the sun shone upon his face, and I never saw anyone who walked faster than the Messenger of Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. It was as if the earth folded upon itself for him. We would walk hastily to try to keep up with him until becoming exhausted. All the while, he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam would continue to walk effortlessly ahead of us. Subhanallah. Khaye Qur'an khake guzar ki qasam, Us kafe pa ki hurmat pe lakho salam. The Quran swears by the dust of your path, upon the reverence of thy souls, countless salutations. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, our last Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is miraculous. No words, no statements, no sentences can justify his beauty. He's the one created by the one. May Allah bless us with true love of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Ameen. Bijahin Nabiyil Ameen sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam.
Our Prophet simply the best. Our Prophet simply the best. Our Prophet simply the best. Our Prophet simply the best.